That was terrible. But that's something everybody always scared of. You know, it's like, oh, no, we're gone. People are going to find out we're gone. Don't say it on the show or something like that. It's like, really? You think just a random methed out dude is listening
going
to us?
Through all the podcasts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, the cycling podcast. I used to be. It started with EPO, and then I couldn't afford EPO, so I went to meth. And then I lost my job. Yeah. And then I'm in the gutter listening to cycling podcasts, and I found out that a character from a cycling podcast is gone this weekend.
So you heard it here first.
Yeah.
EPO is a gateway drug.
It is. Yeah. Hey, before we begin, sponsor mentions and an in-house plug. Oh, I do that every time. I got to erase that part of the top of the show because tonight we don't have an in-house plug. But we have a new sponsor alert. As I said, new sponsor alert for a couple shows here. Muck Off, the finest in care for your finest possessions. That is right. You must take care of your bikes or they will not look badly. They will not only look badly. I'm doing horrible on my first read for Muck Off. They will not only look badly, but perform badly. Muck Off makes it so easy from tubeless setup to lube and cleaning tools and liquids. Muck Off will keep things rolling so smoothly. Get over to their website today by using the link at packfiller.com and you get a 15% off your first order today. That is from our friends at Muck Off. Great to have them on board. I actually used their shit way before even starting to ask them about being a part of the show. So great stuff.
We used their stuff on Sunday.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And we rode.
Yeah.
Where were you?
I was. I'll talk about that in a minute. Scratch Labs. Oh, no, this is Camelback. Camelback is on board. Hydration packs, bottles, steel and titanium now, along with a brilliant podium design that outdoes any dispensing product I have found. You know what you need, and Camelback has just the thing. Use our link at packfiller.com today. And finally, NordVPN, our third of the new ones. After praising their name and the glory that is watching bike races online, NordVPN is on board. Trick the internet into allowing you to watch all of your racing online with a safe, secure, and consistent VPN connection. Trust us. We're all NordVPN believers here. Use our link at packfiller.com to get started. I used NordVPN on Saturday, in fact, in order to watch Omloop.
Did you?
I did. Did you guys not?
You didn't need to.
No.
You didn't need to?
No.
Oh, I used it. Just I was in Canada. And then Sunday, I watched it via HBO Max.
Did you watch Salmon today?
I didn't.
You would have to use the VPN.
The NordVPN.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm telling
So
you guys,
it's
I bought it for a 1-year package, and I'm not. I think I can say this on the air. You guys use my VPN.
Yeah.
And it is awesome. It is awesome. So get a couple friends together, buy a 1 or 2 year package, and watch bike races. Cycle Systems Online is our fourth. Usually I only do 3. Afraid to work on your bike, want to sharpen your mechanical skills, ever dreamed of being a master mechanic? Well, Cycle Systems has your path to greatness. Online classes at your pace, leading to mastery of all things two wheels. Seriously, you guys, great community and support for your bike mechanical journey. Use the link at packfiller.com to get started today. Okay. Still no new theme. That's my guilt. It's like a guilt text. But I said it. Do any of you guys use voice text?
No.
I do with my watch.
Do you?
Yeah.
I think Jack's the only one who does, and it makes it sound like he's drunk 24/7.
Well.
Hey. Well, if you had a Visma Lisa bike as world domination on your Apocalypse bingo card, you might want to start gathering food in your bunker. That's right. The arguably best time of the year has begun. Classic season is here, and we couldn't be happier. At least I couldn't. You guys aren't stage race guys. You're more classics guys, right?
Yeah.
Good. Welcome again to the longest running cycling podcast on the planet. We are live on YouTube from the Rim Break Bar. This is Pack Filler Cycling Podcast, and I'm your host, Patrick Bolger, and I didn't pre-read. I did pre-read, but I should have checked my typing. We are without Waples once again. One is preparing to travel, and, well, the other one appears to be preparing to be sick. Which one? Not going to tell, because you just steal shit from their house. Let's check in with tonight's panel of cycling pundits with our prologue question. Gentlemen, if you had to choose between oceans or mountains, what would you choose and why? Oceans or mountains? And I got to say, I had the lights on yellow because of the graphic you made. And Paul, is bathed in urine over here. It's kind of a yellowy glow with the light behind you. But
No, it's my halo.
It's warm.
It's your yellow. It's warm. So, first he's holding fast to the keep it aero philosophy, because I saw your guys' watts difference on your ride this weekend. The positioning works. It works for Paul. Yeah. Mr. Paul Main, how are you, man?
Good, good.
Yeah. Oceans or mountains?
For visual,
Period. If you had to choose oceans or mountains.
I could care less about the ocean or the mountains.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. But if I had it for background,
Screw 'em both.
yeah, if I had it for a background,
Yeah.
I would definitely, not definitely, but I'd probably choose mountains.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as where I'm looking at, like Palm Desert, where it's warm,
Yeah.
and you look and there's mountains right there. That's where
Okay.
to go.
So vacation-wise, if you had to choose ocean or mountains,
I'd probably go, because I'm an inland. I'm not
Yeah.
I don't really go crazy over the
like
sea.
the water.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I like the water, but
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't change, right?
Yeah.
You got waves. It's just blue. And it goes,
Fair enough.
All right, all right. Second off, he's holding his training plan cards close to his chest. You're very secretive about your training.
Yeah.
It seems like, although I know when you ride on Zwift because it alerts me because I
Right.
stalk you.
Oh, yeah.
I need to make sure you're safe.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
On Zwift, Mr. Jackson Bulger, how are you, man?
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah. You said you're just on the tail end of a cold.
Yeah, I got a cold over whenever, and now I just sound like it,
Yeah.
you know. But to answer the question, if it's mountains or ocean, I think I really like to be in like mountains or kind of foresty areas.
Sure.
But vacation-wise, I do like going to vacation around the ocean. Especially my wife loves the ocean. So.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Me, I'm the only guy here following up his spring training camp with a heart procedure. Literally, the day after my training camp is over, I'm going under the knife again
are you?
for an ablation. Yeah.
Another
couple
ablation? So you got an AFib a couple of times, or they're just doing it for...
Just the one bout of AFib about what? I'm
2 weeks?
2 weeks out of
Yeah.
back to normal. And it will... The doc looked at me and he said, oh, okay, if it was under a year... it is definitely a slight flaw in the ablation. We just need to go in there and dam it up a little bit more. And he said, you want to do that? And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to go into AFib anymore.
It's not fun, Doc.
No, it sucks. Yeah. And he's like, okay, let's schedule it. And I'm like, okay, let's schedule it.
Well, and that's what your dad also had, right?
He had two ablations also.
Okay, that's what I
so
thought,
apparently we've got just angry hearts who are just, yeah.
Interesting.
And when's the first Twilight series?
April 11th. This
Shit!
scared the shite out of Paul the other day.
Shit! My ablation's on the 8th. Come on! Come on! Mother! Damn it!
At least we got like through July though. You know?
Yeah, I knew it was going to be with that luck. It's like
Yeah.
I've got my whole 7-day training camp that I'm going to just go and do it, and then
Where are you going?
I'm not sure yet.
Go
I'm
warm.
not sure yet. Oh yeah,
Don't
I'm
go
gonna
on the
as
West
warm as
Coast
possible.
because
I'm not
that-
flying anywhere.
yeah.
I'm driving an RV. Yeah, so it'll be someplace close by.
Out
but-
there, Clark is an RV.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I choose mountains and rivers every day over the ocean. I've always liked just the view, the beauty, the sound of rivers and things like that. But it really makes it difficult.
Hang on, you didn't
What?
give us the river. Did you?
Mountains usually indicates rivers.
I like lakes more than rivers, I would say.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd go with rivers.
Would you? Okay. Well, next week's question.
Okay, now we.
my wife, just like Jackson's, is a ocean person. She is hypnotized by the ocean. She can she can walk up and down a beach all day.
Now it's funny because my wife loves the ocean.
Really?
But she doesn't really. The sandy beach, not a big deal. The crashing, like
Really?
the in Ireland, the rough seas and stuff. She loves.
The repeated consistency of those waves hitting the... Yeah, that's so like soothing.
It's maybe all the women like it. Maybe it's a cycle thing.
don't know if I'm going to comment on that.
I was like, should I say this?
I loaded up
Should
my
I?
gun. Was about ready to go. Popeye, say a bunch of things, but better stop right now.
I'm the only one in trouble.
Yep.
As much as you would like to reveal to our listening audience and our fellow competition, how's your cycling life been over the last week? I guess I could start with Jackson. And by the way, it concludes other things other than training, like, hey, I bought a new set of wheels, or I'm on an EPO program, or something like that.
Yeah. It's the gateway, right?
Yeah.
It really makes me feel good.
Yeah.
God,
Last week I felt the cold coming on, so I was like, I haven't had like kind of a slower week or like a rest-ish week in a while. So last week I rode twice instead of thrice. But
thrice.
Yeah. But this week I'm gonna ride 3 times.
Yeah.
So last week was good. It's like a drug, I'll tell you what, riding outside.
Oh, it is. It's
Yeah.
oh.
There was a time we turned left and we got a tailwind, and I was like, oh, this is the type of stuff that I love. Just like hauling ass, going as fast as we can. Like it was, I missed it.
I'm trying not to make it about me, but you guys got out on Saturday.
With Sam.
Oh, Sam did go.
Yeah.
He did.
Okay, because I didn't see his Strava
I didn't know
while I was angry scrolling.
Yeah, I don't know. He had his gravel bike, so he brought a knife to a gunfight.
Oh,
Yeah, he did.
So on that tailwind section, he was hanging back a little bit.
because he
48,
probably packed
10.
his road bike.
Yeah,
yeah.
he was in the process.
Yeah.
He had it broken down. So.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, how far? 40?
40.
Was it?
Mine
for
was
you.
40.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I'm downtown. And
Yeah.
I think I lost 5 miles to you guys.
Yeah.
Dang it.
It was wonderful, wasn't it?
It really
Oh.
was. It really was.
It's really, then you don't even want to get back on the trainer. It's like, no. And that was my only option today, and I was trying to figure out when I could do it, but I was pretty busy.
So you didn't?
I didn't get on the trainer today.
Rest of the week been good though?
Yeah, I mean, I did a couple of trainer, but the road was like, it's hard for you to get back on the trainer again, you know? So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying. I had a funeral to attend on Saturday, and it was a friend of my mom's. She was in her 80s. Anyway, I don't need to get into full details on that, but I owed it to my mom to show up, and I was happy to have been there for her and her friends, and it was kind of a long history. I knew her kids, and we were pals as kids and stuff like that. So it was good to be there. I was, when we walked out of the reception.
What do they call that?
It was not a wake, but
I get what you mean.
it was gathering. It was more. It wasn't religious in nature at all. But when we walked out, the wind was a little gusty, and I was like, "Yes, screw those guys."
Oh, that didn't bother us a bit. Yeah.
I was like, Michelle was like, "Oh, it's windy out here." I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
I think there was one real time that I dropped back, and I was like, I might as well get behind this horse ass back here.
Yeah. Sam, there's a draft. You don't even hear your birds chirping and everything.
Yeah.
When you get behind, it's like
It's a vacuum.
silence. Yeah, it is.
You almost feel uncomfortable with how
awesome.
quiet it is.
Yeah.
He farts and it stays there for
Yeah,
about
just
10,
everything.
20 pedal strokes.
Put a wind, on wind tunnels.
Yeah.
You can see the line and everything. There's probably a huge, massive void behind him.
just
Yeah, that butt. I mean, the only problem is trying to look to see what. Are we turning left here? And you have to get out into the wind.
lean
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, shit, I could have had a tarp on and it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
Sam's not here tonight.
I know.
Can't defend himself.
Yeah.
He does. And those, I will say that butt equates into massive power. So that is a good thing. That is a good thing on his part.
That's why we tease him.
Yeah. I got 4 rides in on the bike and 2 strength training workouts, which was good, because I need to catch up to you guys. I've got some catching up to do. I've also found out what the hell is wrong with my shoulders. I got
Calcium.
Yeah, did I mention that earlier?
A while back.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I must have. Okay.
But do it again.
No, I
It's real fun.
officially went to a guy, half my age. I expect to pop a zit on his nose, kind of a thing. calcific tendonitis, and but it is maintainable and not necessarily requiring surgery or anything like that, which made me really happy. And I have my first physical therapy appointment with our friends at where's my
Tailwind.
bell? Yeah, Tailwind Physical Therapy.
So I do have a question.
Yeah.
I went to see this guy. Does he have a title, or is he just what is
He's
he?
a doctor.
Does he
Orthopedic.
put you underneath like a pyramid and has you drink a?
Yes, and my face turned purple.
Does his hands just hover over you?
I'm an eggplant. Seinfeld.
You've got calcium on your tendons.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, I mean, he showed me the X-rays, and I was like, "Oh, okay, I see the fuzzy stuff. I see what you're talking about, and that's right about where it hurts." So I just take doctors' words for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever done acupuncture?
No,
Did your wife? Because your wife was interested.
no.
So you guys have to go.
I wonder if that'd be
It's, well, it's
the
go the way you choose.
The next phase in the procedure would be where they actually, not like acupuncture needles, they actually put a needle into my shoulder and just basically,
break it down,
scramble the eggs of the calcium, and it breaks up and goes away. I wish they would have done that just right then, because I'm the kind of person who walks in and is like, "Okay, hi doc, nice to meet you. Fix it.
Yeah.
Let's do this shit." Like the doc when he said, "Hey, we might need to do another ablation." I'm like, "Book it. I don't care. Let's book it."
Yeah.
And I'm pissed now that I booked it, because
yeah, you
it's
booked
2
it a
days
long
before
time.
a bike race.
Way to go.
This reminds me. I mean, this is probably a
I wonder
topic.
if I should put it off. No, I shouldn't.
No
put it
way. But this reminds me of another topic that we could probably fill a whole show with: massages. Do you guys ever get them anymore?
I wish I did.
Yeah.
off. I haven't since the days of living at the Olympic Training Center, where there was somebody available.
Yeah. I
So
think
that
I'm
was
gonna-
87.
Yeah. I got mine when we were on our honeymoon, and it was like I was the whole day. It just knocks you out.
Yeah.
I think I want to do that for my birthday. Like,
Yeah.
I just feel like massages are so overpriced. Well, not overpriced. They do a great job,
Yeah.
but they're heavily priced.
I lied. There was a guy we had when Arrivi was at their heyday in the late 80s, early 90s, where you would go once a week and you could barely walk out
Yeah.
of the room. Everything hurt so bad.
Yeah.
Next morning, bing, fresh as a frickin' daisy.
Yeah. I think just people need massages more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what all these teams are doing. I mean, that's what the pros
Oh,
are doing.
that's one of the traditions that happened in Europe from way back that has never changed.
Yeah.
That we talk about diets and all these different things, but massage has been a constant.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I used to, when I raced hardcore, I used to get one a week,
Yeah.
easy, and then picking back things up in 2011 and stuff, I was getting about once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wish I could afford more, because I probably would have
God,
gone
yeah.
back to once a week. But
Don't you wish insurance would cover that?
I think
Should.
I think mine does to a point, but
Really?
it depends. A lot of those particular masseuses and people of that alternative really don't like insurance, because
It's a
insurance
nightmare.
companies hold
Yeah.
their payment for a long time, and they question, and it's more hassle than what it's worth.
Yeah.
And my friend Jake won't do insurance at all.
He won't.
No,
Yeah.
he's done with it. So
Yeah.
Just thought.
It'd be nice. It'd
Yeah.
be really nice. How do you guys feel in terms of strength this time of year after your first ride outdoors and Jackson scaring the shit out of you and telling you the
Yeah,
first
that
race
was
is
a
6
wake-up
weeks
call.
away?
Yeah.
Oh no!
I don't know. I feel good. I noticed things that I wasn't able to do last year. Something as simple as when you're on the drops or when you're on the bars, your shoulders are down rather than up by your.
Ears.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I'm able to hold that now, which is something I was never able to do before.
Really?
So little things like that. I just feel I feel like my body's a lot stronger now from the off season. I'm interested to just kind of get outside more though, because I think this weekend, I felt great the whole time, but I'm interested to see we all get together, do our hard ride type of thing,
Yeah.
see how the body responds.
Yeah.
So
No, I haven't been outside, so I don't even know. I am thankful for one thing. I've gone deeper into the Wahoo system strength training catalog. And there's a lot of just random little, you're like, oh God, it's only a 20-minute workout. It's not enough. And you're doing like jumping around your room on one leg and stuff like that. And it's like, holy shit, this, and I've been feeling it the next day. So I got to keep doing that. I don't know where I am. I have no clue where I am as compared to this time last year. And I don't keep track of that data. And I probably should do a fitness test or something like that, but I don't know. Get to a certain, I mean, are we that serious that we're tracking it?
No.
Do you guys train for the first race of the season, or is it like, are you guys the mentality of like, I want to be strong all season, or is it like, I'm gonna let the first races come and work my way into it?
For me, I have some objectives, that I want to hit. So that's the long-term goal. I think early races, I do want to come in and not, come in sloppy, but it's kind of like on the 11th of April, our first one, training series, it'll be more of a test of like, okay, I know what I'm going to be short of, and that's recovery.
Yeah.
That's just because of my age, but what else is there? What is, and I like because everybody's at the same level. Everybody's anxious to race, but just getting, making the decision, I should have hit that gap, when you get
the
about
instinct.
The instinct's gone. You don't even think about it when you're probably, by the time you're May and June, things just happen and flow.
Oh, okay.
And that's what the early season stuff is for me. So
I think that's a mistake I made last year, is I trained for the first race and then didn't really continue it on. Obviously, crashing, that sucked, but can't train for crashing. But I really want to that's why I continue to mention like the inside stuff, continuing the indoor trainer as much as it sucks, coming back from work. That's just, it gets a ride in, it gets your fitness at the, continuing level. So
it's like a top off.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So I think I want to try and train for the whole season this year rather than just like expect a lot out of one race and then don't get anything out of the rest. So
I think I'm going to go with it that way too, because I'm actually, the spring is going to be booked with, -1 race now. The Twilight Series, and then these are weeknight races, so some would say they don't count. But the Wednesday night mountain bike race series, I'm going to do all those.
Those really don't count.
They don't but I'm going to do those. I'm going to do, so that's at least 8 or 9 races there, plus the Twilight Series is 6 more. So that's going to be a good heavy spring of going out and going hard and trying to kind of fine tune everything. So that'll be fun. And, I'm trying to think beyond that. So I haven't sat down and looked at a calendar. I haven't done that, several years. So it's not like I'm going, okay, I'm going to hit this and this, and I'm going to peak here, and I'm going to do that. And I haven't found a big event like, I'm not going Unbound or anything like that. So it's weird to just kind of go, okay, once July 1st hits here, are the training series my season? So I don't know. Yeah. So it's just a weird thing to try to think about that and go from there. Calling back to Jackson's holding the cards close to the chest, the poker kind of term. Do you guys keep things secret at all? Or do you, ever not post something? We live in the world of, if it isn't on Strava, it didn't happen, that kind of a mentality. Do you guys, and I know Paul probably does more than any of us, but do you guys ever hold back and not post something, or not, when you get to the start line? I remember back in the day, we used to just go, everybody at the start line would talk about how shitty their training's been. And then some guy go launching off the front, obviously flying. Do you guys hold back, or is everything just out there?
I think, I post everything. So if you really want to, study my my not making cycling career, or not making money cycling career, go ahead and do it. But
spending money cycling career.
Shit, seriously,
going in debt.
But last year I talked about it a lot more. This year I'm like, that's not really like me. So I'm just kind of keeping it, keeping it quiet. I don't, unless you ask, I'll talk about it. But I think there'll be, I think once the outdoor really sprint training starts happening and I start doing things like that, those could be some numbers that I hold.
Really?
Yeah. Just because I mean I know what I can hit, but other people don't need to know. I remember last year at the first Twilight series, people were lining up behind my wheel because they knew the plan. So I was like, I gotta not have that happen this year. But I mean, that's really
stop doing this whole thing,
I
show,
know.
and talking to people.
Well,
It would really help
I
our
don't think
careers.
the people in this room are the ones that have been, gabbing
Blabbing.
it out.
It is a lot of.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
It's fucking sad.
It's hard keeping things close to the chest when you have somebody calling
Yeah.
you the skinny
You know
Mark
what we need
Cavendish.
to do, guys? This is what we'll do. Your microphone's on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're late.
And
So,
you're late.
is there joy of keeping things to yourself? I mean, I genuinely, I don't necessarily use Strava to show off.
Mm-mm.
I use it to kind of analyze, okay, I did this, I did that, I did the other thing. How am I doing as compared to in the past? And I love that. The graph, or certain sections or a climb that I've done, 300, 400 times before. Hey, I'm better than I was last April, or I'm better than I was in April of 1999 or something. Was Strava around 99? Probably not. But, all that kind of stuff. But how about the benefits of everything being out there? I also find a great amount of good old-fashioned Catholic guilt shaming and motivation when I see other people have ridden.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God damn it, now I got to go get on the bike because Jackson rode. And, I don't want him to beat me, even though it's a given. But, that kind of thing. Do you guys find any? Do you guys pay attention to that kind of stuff? Or are you just like, nah, I'm on my own?
I think for me, when it comes to Strava, I'll post my stuff that I actually ride on the bike. And I don't do
Outdoor.
outdoor stuff. Indoor, I don't. And I know a lot of people put their hikes and stuff, and I think that's all good for any individual. But in the early days, there was a couple of people said, mentioned to me when they, came across me in the conversation over beer, saying that, seeing you ride, and seeing your rides really inspired me. I thought, I'm not going to do anything. And then, so I thought that's a bonus.
Yeah.
And it does, I think, create a little bit of a community.
Mm-hmm.
But then there is a part of me that does do some spines, like what are these guys doing?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch, they've
Yeah.
been out.
Yeah. Wow.
There's a strong group of guys that are been out almost every weekend, for the last month. So
Yeah.
and it's like, geez, I know I need. And those are the people I'm going to see on Thursday at April 11th, and that's why I went. Crap! That I have
Yeah.
no time.
Oh, no.
I'm screwed.
Yeah. Jay,
Um,
you kind of grew up in the generation of now everything being out there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I really study other people as much very often. I think this year I'm going to use the tools that I have because I think strategy is something that is, I watch this YouTuber. His name's EJ. His handle is EJ
Training
Trains.
Camp.
Yeah. He's I really like watching him. But I watched a video last night about talking about tactics and how he really needs to learn, and I really, really I understood that to a very high level. And so I think I'm going to use all the tools I can this year to really understand my competition, how I can sometimes we always talk about, it's not necessarily the one who's the fittest, it's the one who's the smartest.
Sure.
And so I think that when it comes to Strava, I might use it as my helpful tool this year, just to see what the people that I'm really racing against can do that I might not be as good at. So, I mean, do I use it often? No, I don't really use it that often, especially for Catholic guilds. This year, I've really tried to create the mindset of I need to do it for my health, not for a result. So rather than pressuring myself, just making myself feel good. So what do you do?
I measure against myself, and then I feel shitty when I see somebody else.
Do you flog yourself or something? You got
more or less
cattail thing that you whack your back? when you
Actually,
get
no. I mean, I could go full into character and say that I hate myself, kind of a thing like that, but I don't. No, it is genuinely like after a ride, I sit in that couch here in the studio and I just look over the Strava data and I'm like,
wondering
going
about that smell. Anyway, go ahead.
and your jackets are on it.
The leather's really cracked.
It's
Damn.
leather. It doesn't hold bacteria. It doesn't harbor bacteria. But as far as you know,
Yeah.
but I'll sit there and I compare myself to myself. To okay, where was I last year? Where was I the year before? Where was I? You know, the 1990s joke.
Sure.
And no, that's what I enjoy out of it. And yes, I'll go to a segment and go, okay, where's the KOM on this? Holy shit, I'm 2 minutes back. You know, and it's a half a mile segment or something like that. But I'll go like, hey, I'm faster than another guy my weight. Or something like that, you know.
So you pay for it,
yeah,
just so you can get that.
damn right.
Yeah.
I pay for it too.
Yeah.
For
like
that,
it.
for some of that reason.
Well, it gives you the data too. I don't think you get certain data fields if you don't pay for it. Like I'm not sure if I'd be able to see my power or heart rate. It's one of the two though.
Yeah.
So
you know, for me on that, I've paid for it once, and that was when I went down to nationals to, you know, take off some training rides, and they were all in South Carolina and not in Georgia.
Yeah.
right.
One of those things. So, and I thought, oh God. So anyway, all I get is the top 10, right, of a segment, and then
It doesn't include you?
it doesn't. Well, unless I'm in the top 10.
No shit.
But it will
Wow.
tell me what on that segment my best time is,
Oh,
and
okay.
then it kind of grays out like where I was in that, but you know my time, and there'll be people.
Oh.
So that if I want data, like sometimes I ride with a heart rate monitor just because of my age, but I'm starting to kind of get away from that because it doesn't
It's not
matter.
important.
Because I don't look at it during the ride. It's like, God, feels like my valves are starting to float.
Yeah.
They just opened up. And like, you know, fuck this open and closing. Let's just run it. So anyway, but on my Wahoo, because I download it on that, I get all that data.
That is true.
Yeah,
That is
so-
true.
So the's no reason to pay.
Yeah.
For
I should look
So.
back at the Wahoo app more. I don't spend enough time on it. But,
Yeah.
I was just trying to help you guys out.
I
Save
don't
some money.
I don't like the fact that it you know, it'll be like, hey, you got 90th on this segment or something like that, and it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ... 88, 89, 90, and I'm like, I want to see 87, 86, 85, 84, so I can
Who's
see
ahead of you?
the real people who are genuinely within my range.
And weight group.
Yes. Yes. I want to see other healthy people, and you know, who aren't
Well,
just
that is
skinny
kind of
little
nice. I mean,
fuckers.
if you look
Yeah.
at it, and you're like, wow. I mean, in my age group,
Yeah.
I got my ass killed. Whoa. Now I got a different category. I got my weight.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Well, there are
yeah.
those categories,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I also want to see the top, you know, close to me. I don't want to just see the top 10 and then ...
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm okay scrolling. My thumb still works, Strava. And if you post the data, I'll still be able to see it.
Well, you just
I
gotta
don't think
tap
it's
on
going to
it.
cost them.
I think you can tap on it.
The ...
Yeah, I think you can tap
Are
on
you
it.
shitting me?
I'm pretty sure you can, so you can scroll through all of these things.
You're joking.
I don't really.
Am
think
I that looking stupid?
Well, no, you're not. You're not stupid. You just
No.
maybe never tried.
Yes, I am.
You're in the wrong generation.
Yes,
That's all.
I am.
Yeah,
I'm that
that's
guy
it,
who's
that's
going to
it.
call up his
Yeah.
son and say, come over and make the ... go away.
I will say, in terms of like,
Shit.
in terms of technology, if you just tap on something 9 times out of 10, you're probably just gonna.
It's
figure
not
it
going to
out.
blow
Really?
up.
No.
You know, that's the first thing, you
Yeah.
know, as being a boomer. I'm like, if I touch that, will I lose? Wait, you know, my data, what's going to happen?
Well, we've
Is
been
the phone
married-
going to stop? Is it going to freeze? I don't know what to do.
Unless it's in red lettering, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
We've been married a long time. You
Yeah.
tap on anything in the middle of the night, you could get in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
I think that might just be where you cater your own things.
You awake? Sorry. Sorry, my mind's all over the place tonight. We should probably switch it because my wife's upstairs running on the treadmill.
Oh, wow.
Hey, let's shift gears to tonight's headlines in This Week in Review. Thanks to our friends at Scratch Labs, pure tasting fuel for the ride. Paul's got his shirt. Scratch Labs. And if you don't know what they got, that you're missing out. Join their newsletter today. That will pop up on the screen. Get a free 4-pack of hydration products with your first order. Not a bad deal. Do us a favor and head to Packville first and click on that link. Scratch Labs. The first weekend of the spring campaign began last weekend, and if you were a fan of yellow kits, you likely enjoyed yourself thoroughly. On Saturday's Omloop Het Nieuwsblad, first blood was drawn with a powerful showing from Team V-Lab. I'm just going to call him V-Lab. I'm sure.
It'll catch on.
Yeah. It sounds medical, and that's probably a bad thing. Splitting the field by strong efforts from a new signing and U.S. hopeful for a big win this season, Matteo Jorgensen, along with Wout van Aert, driving the pace on the bumpy roads of Belgium, only to be caught prior to the finish, which I was blown away. Yeah. I thought Matteo was going to win the whole damn thing. And a big last-ditch effort by Jan Tratnik to notch their first win over UAE's Nils Pollitt, when Wout winning the sprint for third. The women's edition actually played after the men's edition, which I thought was a great idea and a great way to promote both ends of the sport. Showed that Marianne Vos is still the boss. Vos the boss. I'm sure I'm not the first to come up with that either. Finishing kick that has not faded with age whatsoever brought home her win over Lotte Kopecky and Elisa Longo Borghini. So break it down, gentlemen. Any surprises? I know I probably ruined by saying Matteo Jorgensen, but wow, what a day of a first day of racing.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was excellent and really entertaining. I'm happy to have it back finally.
Yeah.
I was really surprised by Jan Tratnik. Who the hell would have thought that he would have won Omloop? I was not surprised by Nils Pollitt. I think that's just kind of his bread and butter. I am really happy with the American showing lately. I don't know.
Coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Sepp Kuss winning the Vuelta. We have Matteo Jorgensen, who looked great on both days, honestly.
He's with the style of a team he needs to be with.
He is.
Which was ironic because the Spanish champion, I can't remember his name, and I feel like an ass, was right up there for Movistar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which also, big surprise on second day. Was that second day?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, that was that was KBK. Yeah. But also, I don't recall which one of these days it was on, but Luke Lamperti, who is also American, finished top 10.
Yeah.
Riding with Soudal Quickstep. I mean, I've seen him ride with the likes of like Tyler Williams and also EJ, the guy I was mentioning earlier, and just a ripper of a guy. But it's great to see, Americans showing up in that top 10. It was fun racing.
Yeah, it's Omloop's one of my favorites, and I always even back with Het Nieuwsblad because it's the beginning.
Het Volk originally.
So
very few people would understand that.
They're both
Volk.
Newspapers,
so
I get them
exactly.
confused. It was a great race. It was kind of interesting tactically, without a doubt. Visma Lisa Bike was total in control, and I same with when you're talking about when the American that went off, Matteo. Yeah. So anyway, when he went off, I'm thinking it's done. But when you hit the Capel Mur, he was I couldn't believe how fast the pack actually came up. And
he was quoted as saying he got hit with a headwind going.
Yeah, it was a headwind was coming. Yeah. So, then I thought with the pack all kind of getting, all smashed up, I thought, well, Visma's in a bad way at this point. But all it took is somebody hitting the Bosberg the last climb.
Yeah.
And it just blew up, and they just played numbers is what it was, and they did a good job. So.
I keep thinking of this modern Jumbo parenthesis Visma Lisa Bike as the. I keep wanting to compare them to a Mapei or a Quick Step, or those teams, those classic teams. Yet they're doing the classics and then continuing into the Grand Tours I mean, they won all 3 last year. This is not a Classics team. This is something that has not been seen before. I'm trying to think all the way back to Renault, but Renault didn't pull in the Classics wins like what this team is doing.
Yeah, I mean they had a couple of Paris-Roubaix in the mid '80s with Mark Madio.
Yeah,
but I mean,
Pinot
but that was
won.
even different. It was different back then too, is because everybody raced Classics and they weren't specialized.
True.
So but I think the thing that really impressed me about the whole thing was that not only did they win the whole weekend,
the
women's, and the men's, and on both days, but their what was it called, the Grand Camaro? And they won that too. So, gosh,
and Vingegaard won
3 of the 4 stages.
Yeah.
And the 4th stage, I mean, the first stage was a TT, but the wind gusts were so bad they were not going to classify it as. And so he just sat back, but he could have probably easily won that too. Won all 4 stages.
This is new territory for a team.
Yeah,
what we're seeing.
Well, and I will say, switching over to the women's side of it all, we're seeing that when it comes to SD Works.
Yeah,
that it's just, I mean,
that's very true. Yeah.
If Lotte Kopecky could have gotten rid of Marianne Vos, it wouldn't have been any. The story would have been written at that point. But it's really good to see. I looked up her age, and she's 36. Which, what's Anna van der Breggen?
Yeah,
she's younger. She is younger than Marianne Vos, and she's still winning some of the biggest races. It was good to see. I mean, even the showing of Lidl Trek is still one of the. I think it's SD Works and Lidl Trek are the 2 dominant teams, but it was. I was really happy to see Marianne Vos win that one. I did hate the commentator.
I was gonna bring that up. Yeah,
I thought that. I was saying this to my wife because she sat next to me for both races. She read, mind you, but but for the men's Loop, we have Rob Hatch, probably one of the top. He's my favorite commentator in the game, but one of the best probably top 5 in the game right now. Just can do a whole broadcast by himself, and it doesn't even seem uncomfortable or anything like that. I thought Matt Stevens did a great job the next day, by the way, and who also could have, if Robbie McEwen didn't join in, could have done that by himself. But then I don't even know the name of the guy who did the women's broadcast, at least for Flow Bikes. I'm not sure if that was all across.
That was
the
a
board.
Eurosport feed. So, yeah.
I was disappointed with it a little bit.
Really?
I thought that, and it's not that, like, I'm not throwing any sort of like shade or anything on somebody who doesn't speak English to like the extent that obviously a native English speaker would, be able to produce. But I think that if maybe they don't know it the best, why would we put them on a full English broadcast? I feel like they were kind of done a bit of a disservice because the racing was a little bit hampered by the at least the television spectator
language barrier.
Yeah, okay. A little bit of the language barrier. I thought that it was kind of like it just wasn't the same quality that we can get from an upper echelon.
Okay. You're hilarious because I felt the exact opposite. And by the way, if anybody listening to the show read the post over the weekend that said more of the women's race announcer, please, that was me. I hijacked the social media account, and I loved his energy. I loved his enthusiasm. It almost felt like a football announcer where he's like, go, 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 go. I mean, it's just the screaming. I found it hilarious. Now, mind you, I was on the trainer during the women's race, and so I didn't hear the specifics. And I also didn't. You and I talked about the fact that you had a delay,
at
on
least
your
a minute, and so I at the finish line had
voice was ahead of the visual.
So I had to mute it.
Would have made me throw my computer across the room.
Yeah.
Did you restart? Try and get it?
No, I was just like, I was like 10K
muted
at a certain time, and I was like, this is not happening anymore. Yeah.
See, I've always felt that cycling, in terms of a person who has never experienced the sport, sitting down and watching a televised broadcast of cycling would wonder why everything is so subdued.
But what I think I like about a subdued, like what a Rob Hatch or a Matt Stevens does really well, is they started out with that subdued thing, but then it's like a story to me. It has its crescendo and it has its conclusion,
dramatic structure.
Yes, and I think that's what they do so well. And with this, it was just the same tone the whole time.
Okay,
all levels up.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
And I will say, he also didn't know names. He was like, "Oh, this is so."
Neither does Phil Liggett.
Also, not at the top of his game.
No, he knows
now,
them. They're just scrambled in his brain right now.
Yeah, but like
sorry, that's mean. The man is a legend. And don't at me already. But Phil's a step off of his game.
But like when Laura Capecchi or when Elisa Longoborghini hit the front, he was like, "She is going, she is going, she is going," and I was like, "Who is she? I want you to tell me right now who you think she is. Come on. I want you to give it to me.
Say your name,
and I was like,
I
was saying this. I was saying this while I was sitting there. I was like, I know who she is. Do you?
Yeah.
Because I could probably do this better than you could.
Oh, no. Okay.
I know I'm coming at him hard, but I felt passionate about this.
I loved him. I thought he was good. Okay. I guess we're going to agree to disagree.
Yeah.
San Diego, which means a whale's vagina. Anybody see anything upsetting the Visma Lisa Bike apple cart? And is Wout van Aert going to more or less be able to pick and choose whatever he wants to win this spring?
Well, I think
they're upset the apple cart by bringing that up.
But that's what makes bike racing kind of interesting. It always looks like, oh, this team's going to dominate.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we even heard people like all the way back to Jan Ullrich, that guy's going to win 7 in a row.
Yeah.
And then Egan Bernal. Same thing. You can't put your money on that.
Yeah.
I'm a Wout fan, big time. I like his lifestyle. I like that he's a family man. I like that. He doesn't show up, well, at least as far as I know, doesn't show up with a Porsche or a Lamborghini to a cross race, that type of thing.
Sure.
And he just seems to be level-headed. Still lives in Belgium, which I can't imagine because that country just goes ape. There's people knocking on his door trying to get his attention. I mean, he just can't live a normal life. But you never know. But what I would like to see, because everybody keeps saying, he hasn't won as many monuments. He's got holes in his palmares with Flanders and Paris-Roubaix, and that type of thing. So I think if he won both, that would be awesome. And I hope. And I think that's his big push. And then the Giro.
I think he's got a calendar at home, and he's got those dates circled in red.
Yeah.
On that calendar.
I think we just have one big rainbow-colored sized hole.
Yeah.
That's really getting in his way. And I think that right now, that rainbow jersey's got the edge.
It's going to be really interesting to see how the full cyclocross season campaign has gone for both of those riders, because they both took a different approach to the winter. And I think that's going to...
And Pidcock, too.
Yeah, yeah. And
all
I think
three
that's
of
going
them
to lead us somewhere.
Notched it back quite a bit.
I think next year, I wonder if they'll even do it.
I think Matthew has stated that that's it. He's done. He might do a couple events, but that's more or less it.
Well, it's just comparing, because everybody compares those two all the time.
Yeah.
Van der Poel and Van Aert. So I think what I like about Van Aert, he's a little more racecraft. He's a little. He works hard. He does not have the raw talent by far that I've ever seen since I've been following cycling is Van der Poel.
Yeah.
And it's he can make a mistake.
Thank you, Grandpapa and Papa. Yeah.
And the pigeon pie. But to me, it's like he can make a mistake. He's so talented that he can recover.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And Wout just doesn't have that in his arsenal. But but I think he's crafty, and I think he's selfless too.
Yeah,
very much so. He lets us. He had no problems with Tratnik winning. He did everything he could. Hey, we won as a team, and I like that attitude too. And I'm not saying that Van der Poel doesn't have that, but it seems to be leaning towards he rules the roost, and he does what he wants to do.
And I think it seems like he's learning from mistakes, and he's evolving as a rider. He's not just capitalizing on
Vanderpool?
certain things. No, Wout van Aert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's going to have a big change on this year and how the year progresses.
Definitely.
I see some big things for him. Speaking of which, let's look ahead. This week in Strade Bianche, I'm not going to lie, this is quickly becoming my favorite race on the calendar. I love the gravel and I love the climbs. And even though it was cheesy, stupid virtually, I loved the fact that Rouvy has some of those climbs on an opportunity to ride that, and you're not feeling the bumps. You're not seeing the ruts that were just absolutely horrific. Some of these roads for the average cyclist are what double track trails would have been when mountain biking first kind of got dialed in. And these guys are doing this on road bikes. And so few things to note. No, Wout's not going to be there. Pidcock is there on form for another win. Yes or no? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Yeah. The elephant in the room, the season debut of some guy named Tadej Pogacar. Are we just thinking that everybody's... I mean, I keep thinking when we come to these races that everybody's going to be completely marking a specific rider, a Wout van Aert, Mathieu van der Poel, things like that. It doesn't seem to matter anymore.
Not on those types. That's what's great about the classics, in my opinion.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Paris-Roubaix, you can be the man marked, but the course has... and your equipment or whatever situation, you don't know what's going to happen. So, I mean, that's true with all cycling, but I think in classic one day you have one shot at it. There's no recovery. And so that's what makes it, on the edge of your seat, at least for me.
Yeah. It just seems, there used to be a time when you could have your entire team marking a rider and covering the racing style has changed so much too that it is from the gun that it is fast, and that you can't hide in that kind of stuff. Talk to me about Julian Alaphilippe. First of all, tough to get motivated with your team director, accusing you in press conferences that you're drinking too much beer and partying too much.
Well, you can join our team because we
right?
Yes, seriously, dude.
Yeah. There's a problem with that?
Yeah, we'd like to welcome our new weeknight racer.
Come along.
He shaved his beard, which is hopefully not a Samson moment, but are his days done? I don't want to be mean, but are his highlights? Is his highlight reel coming to a close?
I will say I do worry about it a little bit. I think that rainbow jersey left his shoulders, and it was like we kind of saw the decline of Julian a little bit.
We did.
Which is a bummer because I think he is an entertaining racer.
Love him.
Yeah. I really am excited to see what he can do at a race that he's won before. Because, I mean, he'll show that confidence a little bit, that French bravado. But I was happy to see him this last weekend, within a chase group. But I don't know if he's got the edge like the rest of these guys do. Bring it back to I forget which race it was. It might have been a Ronda, but when he hit the motorbike.
Oh, yeah, it was Ronda.
Yeah. But I mean, that was Wout, Mathieu, and Alaphilippe.
Yeah.
It was those three all the time,
Yeah.
but now it's Wout, Mathieu, Tadej.
Pidcock, Tadej. Yeah, it
And
depends on the
so
race.
I don't know if he's got the edge like the rest of these guys do, but I sure hope he does because he's fun to watch.
Yeah. And I have to agree. I mean, he's had some big spills. I mean, you think, was it last year at Liège, Bastogne-Liège, 2 years ago at Flanders, Strade Bianche, I think
Where he
last
was
year.
blown off the road.
Big one,
Yeah.
I mean, he just had a string of bad luck, so you can always, to me, I hope that he can overcome that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's encouraging somebody like Egan Bernal, who seems to be coming along.
Yeah.
From that, and it might be a long road, but obviously Lefebvre doesn't have patience. So
It's hard to have a abusive father at the wheel. Yeah,
exactly.
I brought up before we started, I would love to see him on like an Alpecin de Koenig, just as like a plan B for a Mathieu van der Poel.
Yeah.
You know?
That would be a good
there are rumors that what's Sagan's team from last year?
Oh, Total.
Total.
They're
'Cause it's
they're
French.
speaking to him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Either that or the Archaea.
Archaea.
Yeah, I see him on one of those.
Good squads. Yeah, exactly. How about the American contingent? We talked about this. We are American U.S. based podcast rooting for. We have Sepp Kuss, Quinn Simmons, Nelson Paulus, Larry Warbus, Magnus Sheffield, Lawson Craddock, and Kevin Vermark, all lining up at the start of this race.
Exciting.
You talked, Jackson, about we're coming back. We're coming back to the pelotons. Sorry, Europe.
Well, I think we have a good young contingency going out there.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was great to see Luke Lamperti out there. I'm interested to see how Sepp Kuss responds to this type of race. I don't know if he's that type of punchy, just kick the teeth out of somebody type of hit, but I'm excited about it. I think that Quinn Simmons. I mean, I remember if he didn't get a flat, he would have been at the final a couple of years ago. So let's see what he can do.
He's always gone for this race.
Yeah,
and these, as I said, these climbs are not low and slow. These are 800-900 watts for 500 meters, and then you just fly over the top of it, and it just tears you to shreds. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The women's edition is this Demi Vollering's time to show her stuff, and SD Works. There are rumors that Demi's struggling for maybe contract negotiations with SD Works because all the money's going to Lotte Kopecky, and I'm like going, wait, you're talking about one of the greatest riders of a generation? Not you can't afford her? What?
Tour de France winner.
Yeah,
like Dutch national champion. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, and who is there to stop her in that peloton? I mean, we're going to go into our picks here shortly, but I don't know if I've seen Cassie Niewedoma race yet this year.
She raced this last week.
Did she?
Yeah, she did. I'm excited to see her race this specific race, especially with those world champ bands going to her when it comes to the gravel.
For the gravel.
And I watched Lifetime does a really good series. I talked about it earlier, but Call of a Lifetime, and she rode what was it called?
Great series.
It was Big Sugar. She won Big Sugar by a good margin. And so, it could be the surface, but I think it's between the good group and Demi Vollering. I think that she's probably got the best climbing legs out of them all anyways. So
do we want to make let's do the picks. Let's do them right now.
All right,
early in the show. Oh
well I'll do Sam's. They're going to be all American.
Yeah. American.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. He's,
and I'll do David's.
He's
Peter
fun.
Sagan. Then we have to tell him he's retired, and then he just sweeps.
Yeah, especially with the heart.
Yeah.
Peter and I,
hope he gets better.
Hey.
AFib
I'm your son,
brothers,
so I feel like that's expected.
He's not AFib. He had anyway. He didn't have AFib. He did have some sort of a arrhythmia of some sort, and he had an ablation. So there we go. We're gonna start with women, ladies first.
Sure.
I went first last time. Do you guys want to continue that tradition, or does somebody want to jump in?
You can go first.
Demi Vollering, gotta put her out there first, just because SD Works is going to be in the top 3. Unless some sort of a massive,
They're the FISMA.
They are very much so. I would like to see Cassie Niewedoma to do something. I think it'd be so cool, especially out of Jackson, as you said, her confidence coming off the gravel worlds and what she's been doing. And then if I don't, I'm just picking big 3 names. If I don't pick the notorious ELB, something's wrong. So at least along a Borghini. I think Lidl Trek has done a lot for both their men's and women's programs, and I think we're going to see a lot. Don't get me started on Mads Pedersen, where I think he's gonna uncork a big season.
I can't remember what, because it's interesting. He was missing this weekend.
Yeah. He was.
So
he just came off of like 3 wins in Tour de la Provence.
So did Tratnik.
Yeah, that's true.
Tratnik. I mean, he was 3rd place. Was it 3rd place in a couple of stage races or something? But.
So those are my 3. Elisa Longoborghini, Niewedoma, Vollering.
Nice. I will. I also have Demi Vollering. I also have Cassia Niewedoma. And I just want everybody to know this. It's Cassia.
It's Cassia.
Cassia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cassia.
I have heard recently, and it bothers me sometimes when people say the names wrong. I'm not calling you out.
You can.
No, you didn't say the name wrong. You said it right.
I said Cassie.
Oh, it.
Yeah.
You know,
Casilla.
tomato. It's not kasha. We are not talking about cereal here.
But it is spelled. Let's be honest. I mean, for all of us American idiots, Katarzyna.
Yes, that is ridiculous.
Katarzyna.
She's Polish, so that's a crazy name.
Yeah.
But Kasia Niewiadoma. I just really want to put
Can
that
she
out
get
there.
married and change her name?
To Finney.
Finney?
Yeah.
Cassia
Cassia
Finney.
Finney.
But anyways, I chose Cassia Niewiadoma and
Taylor
Lada
Niewiadoma.
Kopecky.
And a lot of Kopecky.
Lada Kopecky, yeah.
She there?
She is.
Yeah.
She's number 6.
Son of a-
She's-
Yeah, too late. Too
Yeah.
late.
You can-
Oh, I didn't see her. She's at the bottom of the list.
But it seems like really nothing can put her down, so.
Dang it.
Well, I
There's one.
got 2. Well, I have Demi Vollering and a lot of Kopecky,
Yeah.
but I took Elisa
ELB.
Gosh, I'm
ELB?
talking. Yeah.
Notorious ELB.
Yeah.
So in other words, technically none of us are going to walk away with a win
No,
because we all tend to
covered
pick
each other's
the
tail.
same
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's too bad Sam's not here. Well, I won't go there. I'm kidding. I love you, Sam. For the men, this was a weird one for me because I definitely had to pick Tadej Pogacar just because I think he's going to go into this season just like he always does. Every race he lines up for, he's like, let's play, let's dance. He does not take anything half-assed, and I love that about the guy. I think Tom Pidcock has played his cards pretty well. He was up there in Omloop, but he lost a little gas towards the end, so I don't know what that's gonna mean, where that's gonna take him. But I think with his taste for what it's like on the Strada, you know, those roads, I think he's has to be mentioned in the top 3. And finally, I'm going way out there, and I would love to see brand new UNOX mobility signing of Magnus Cort to do something there. I think that'd be a fun win and a great thing for him and the team. But riders don't get away on this. The course doesn't allow an escape per se. It's a
they finished.
dwindling.
They use it's more of attrition.
Yeah.
I have picked Tom Pidcock. It's hard not to after you saw what he did on those downhills. Christophe Laporte, I think, is riding really well right now in that European Champions kit. But I don't think he is top podium for this one. I genuinely do think that, and I can't wait to be proved wrong, there is above, like, head and shoulders above the best. Tadej Pogacar, without Wout and without Mathieu there, it's really going to be hard to have anybody put the sword to him when it comes to this race. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Money in the Bank. Tadej Pogacar for me.
Yeah.
He's already won it.
Yeah.
And then I went with an American,
What?
Wilson Paulus, because this race can always serve up just like that. Where the heck?
Yeah.
And then my biggest long shot, because this race is unpredictable. I went with Egan Bernal because he raced it one year and he got, I think, podiumed.
I think he got second.
Yeah, and he showed really well. He
Yeah.
got third, and I can't remember one of the little stage
showing.
races too.
God, wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, and I think
I love it.
I hope that would be a great story.
Yeah.
You know, if he started doing that.
That would be good.
Yeah.
All right, so one last news story before we get to your segments, and this is one that I can't put off to next week. Some tough news from the women's peloton in the UCI. I hope you guys have heard of this one, and I might not speak the team's name correctly. Sinisa Cycling and the lies that lead to punishments. You up to speed on this one, Jackson?
I don't know if I am.
Okay. The UCI on Monday issued a disciplinary finding against 2 former staff members of this team. Siniska, I don't even know the name of the team, and I apologize. Including its ex-assistant sports director, Danny Van Hout, which is a big name from the U.S. cycling scene, for a bizarre incident of fraud last year. This is last year. This is in last July at the 2023 Argentina Classic, something other big words that I don't want to say, a UCI 1.1 rated event in Belgium. The team found itself 1 rider short of the minimum 5 rider number to start. So according to the team, according to the UCI, Van Hout conspired to get around the minimum. He initially, and I quote, instructed the riders present, Anna Hicks, Cara O'Neill, and Catherine Sarsakov and Claire Windsor, to lie about the whereabouts of a fifth rider who was not physically present at the venue, and when they were questioned by the commissars. So the riders stated to the president that their fifth rider was present but was sick. So when the commissars told the team it would not compete without all 5 riders signing in and starting the race, a quote, Mr. Van Hout instructed the team mechanic, Moira Barrett, to wear a rider's clothes and a face mask to present herself at the start and sign the start sheets as the team's fifth rider.
Nice.
That apparently didn't work. Although it's unclear how the ruse was discovered, the team was not allowed to start, and the incident was referred to the UCI's disciplinary commission. And now Van Hout can't. He's been fired by the team. He can't do anything for the team for a whole nother year. The mechanic herself was fired from the team
until
I think
August or later this year.
And then the riders have been disciplined also. Quote Van Hout, his suspension from any activity in cycling until the end of 2025. We laughed. You guys laughed while I was telling the story.
Yeah.
Thoughts on how this could have been handled? Does this punishment fit the crime? Is this a case of the UCI cracking down on the wrong crimes and being severe on punishments that are... Would the team have been worse off racing with 4 riders?
You can't. I don't. They weren't able to race. They had to have 5 riders.
But why? I guess my point is, if you had a rider who couldn't make it, and you've come all the way to Belgium, a team's going to be able to be denied. You would usually think, well, you're going to be a person down.
Yeah, but it depends on the race Bible. The way I understood it, that they weren't able to start unless they had their 5th rider.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's true.
So what would you do in that situation?
Yeah.
To me, I'm like, wow, that's pretty resourceful.
Yeah.
and you probably too on some composite teams. Have you ever been in stage races and stuff?
Yeah, they're just
a bunch of guys are like, we all want to race. The big one is Washington Trust Classic. So it's like the team that you're on, you don't have enough Cat 2 guys or some are doing other races. It's like, well, you just grab some from other teams and you put it together, and you have to have a certain amount of team members. Now, that's what I just thought, wow, that was pretty good. Get the mechanic. They found a kit, because mechanics typically, I just drew a picture. I have no idea what they look like.
Big bald dude with a mustache.
Yeah, but it was... Well, if it was a male or female, I would think it would have to be a female.
It's female, more.
But, typically mechanics aren't exercising because they work on their frickin' bikes all the time. So they have a tendency to be a little more rounded. Yeah. So they had to find a kit that wasn't bursting at the seams. So I created this whole imagery in my head. And even, where the point where back in the day before we wore bibs, we had that gap. What? We had that gap for... between the jersey and the shorts, people would get sunburned in that little section. Yeah. Oh, but I just thought, seriously, but you have to give them credit. But I understand the problem is if that 5th rider doesn't show up and she's, maybe for a reason of drugs, that may pop positive. Yeah. What was it? Because what was that law?
Shit. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, what was that? What really was the reason why she wasn't there?
Right.
Was she knew she was going to pop positive or something like that? So
I guess my
that's the serious note. But outside of that, I thought that was a great story. That's cycling. I mean, where else you couldn't do it in the NFL, NBA? You couldn't do it anywhere.
No, that's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, you couldn't do
He's
it
got
in
the jersey
Premier
on.
League.
Yeah.
He's got a mask on.
Yeah,
that's Cristiano Ronaldo. I recognize that guy. Yeah.
I was really worried that it was going to be like, the coach is riding. Like he goes up to the line and he just you don't see his face. You put a wig on
boobs.
him. Yeah. And you're like, just go. I thought it was gonna go there, and I was really worried about it. But I think, I think it's just a funny story, obviously with some pretty real consequences.
Yeah.
But to where it's just people just try to figure out what the hell to do just to make money for that race.
I have a problem with the consequences. I think it's pretty serious to do something like that.
Yeah.
Where the director's intentions although he went about it in the wrong way by lying, were genuine. He wanted his riders on the start line.
Yeah.
And I don't understand the concept of, penalizing a team for having 4 riders when they're supposed to have 5. But if a rider crashed in warm-ups before stage 1, they probably still would have been able to race.
Yeah, that would.
I don't understand.
The
the format
commissaire
of the
would
race.
have to make that.
Yeah.
So the question really, why did the riders lie, and why
Yeah.
wasn't that rider there?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if it was a situation that was legit, they'd say, hey, they could have gone to the commissaire and said, here's our situation. She
Yeah.
missed the bus.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
we please? I mean, we
Please,
travel
yeah.
all this. You would think,
A
if he was
little
a human,
shred
would
of a
say,
soul
okay,
might come out,
or
yeah.
there might be, I have to give you guys, 20-second time
Yeah.
penalties or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
He can work with that.
Yeah.
But if they're all lying, see, that's
So much
once
for
you
its-
open that door, it becomes pretty bad.
Yeah.
so much for it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because and I think the punishment is a little beyond. I don't think the guy should be fired from the squad, and you should maybe impose a monetary punishment. He's not juicing his riders or
Well,
anything
who
like that.
Who fired him? Was
The team.
So I mean that's all based on the advertising,
Yeah.
because Anyway,
Yeah.
it's bad rap.
Yeah. Here we've got. I guess I just have a problem with several of UCI's issues. When they're so focused on sock height, on puppy paws, on junior gearing or something like that, where when we have so many other things to be concerned about, motor doping is I think the newest biggest fear. I mean, not just a rumor. Now they're actually thinking that this is a legit issue, which I think is another topic by itself. But I just think, when you're focusing on sock height, fuck's sake, stop it. Or a rider putting a mechanic in it.
That's
so
just
funny.
great.
Let her race, man. Let her race. She's probably got some experience.
Probably.
She knows what a bike is.
Yeah.
Damn right. Exactly.
Well, I need to adjust this trail a little better. This one sucks.
Yeah. And
I worked a little harder.
I was going to bring up the concept of the enhanced games, but we'll do that at another time because I think that's a standalone there. So let's get to our segments, shall we? Don't you think it's time to talk about some segments here? Brought to us by our friends at Competitive Cyclists. I've always said the LBS is a place to shop, but sometimes specifics can't be found. That's where we find folks at Competitive Cyclists coming to take care of you and your shopping needs. Use the link at Pack Filler. Last time Paul got shafted, so we're going to let Paul go first tonight.
right.
Yeah, we
Mine's not that interesting.
well, that's you guys just go on without me.
It's gonna go.
I'll stay out here in the rain. It's fine. Yeah. Anyway, changing times with Paul Main. I love these segments because I'm old too.
Yeah, you can relate to it.
Yeah.
To me, it was like how this topic came up is I'm thinking, other than being old, there's no reason for me not to go out and train in bad weather because the clothing is phenomenal.
Oh.
And when I was thinking that, then we had our little pizza party, and then we were in the kitchen making I guess Sam was
cooking.
Yeah, and we're talking about different kits and stuff like
Yeah,
that, and
yeah.
companies, and and I've ridden and raced on different, different manufacturers of clothing and stuff.
I started in wool.
Yeah.
My long sleeve jersey was wool.
Thanks for the segue.
Oh shit! Sorry.
So no. I
muting
needed that.
myself.
No, because I was rambling. I was in the weeds and going off. But no, seriously, that was the standard. So you started in wool. So wool was the standard from 1900 all the way to, and most people don't know, Lycra wasn't around until 1976.
Shit.
Designed by Assos. Assos had the first Lycra.
Okay.
Yeah. Castelli followed the next year, and then they had their version. Castelli always been quite an innovator and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're a great company. They really are. And, they're produced here in Spokane.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so one of the things I put down in like some bullet points that I thought was interesting. So wool was the standard. You had wool shorts. And
I didn't do
originally,
wool shorts. I will say
Yeah,
that. I didn't
yeah,
do
you
wool
had wool
shorts.
jerseys,
Yeah, well, I
yeah.
had wool jersey. Yeah.
And so wool shorts, and they were in black. And
Yeah.
you remember that was a standard when it was back in the old USCF days. You could not wear anything but black shorts.
Yep.
And that was the rule. And do you know why?
I don't. So you wouldn't soil yourself? Or,
That would be good,
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
but that wasn't one of the lists that was put down.
No.
No, but in the old days, you think about it, so they had these wool shorts. They had to do their own repairs. So they had greasy hands, right?
And
So they
then
had greasy
wipe
hands.
them off.
And yeah, you what are you going to do? You wipe your hands on your shorts so it didn't. And then not only that, we had leather saddles. Now, I
Yeah.
had a Brooks.
I never did. Yeah.
But that was
Yeah.
after I had a Brooks because it was cool.
Yeah.
But you have to treat them with oil, so that then that part, if you use any other color, then when you put that leather oil,
So it would
on
look
stuff
like you shat yourself.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
It just looks sloppy.
Okay,
So
yeah.
so that's why black
Really?
shorts have been around for a while.
Wow.
There you
interesting.
go. Yeah.
Shoes had to be black. Socks had to be white.
White.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and I don't know the reasons of that.
No.
So, but I was just focusing on shorts and jerseys pretty much because because I watched vintage cycling all the way
Yeah.
back in the 70s, and just even the cut of a wool jersey back then, it was down. I mean, you had them covering like half of your ass.
And like had
now
a-
they're like way up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so and they were loose.
Oh, yeah. I still have my wool long sleeve jersey.
Do you?
Yeah, it's hanging up in the shop area.
And it's embroidered.
Yes.
The team name and everything. You use
No,
embroidery.
it's not. I have a jacket where it's embroidered, but this was silk screened on.
See, silkscreen, but
Yeah.
not sublimation.
No, hell no.
Yeah.
No sublimation.
So, anyway, I'm going to go from shorts. We had black shorts, wool. They had problems with chafing, believe it or not, just wool.
Yeah,
So they came up with
crazy.
shame.
Who would have thought
Well,
of that?
they decided to put, like they came up with goat skin and sheepskin, and then I can actually remember because my first pair of Osso shorts was a real sheepskin
Chamois.
chamois.
Yeah.
And you had to treat them. You had to hand wash them, and you use chamois cream because when they dried out, they get brittle. But you could ride seriously. This is the best chamois I've ever had. But they were a pain in the butt to take care of. And Osso's had a deal. A lady in Vermont, I believe, if your chamois wore out, you'd send it to her. You had to wash your shorts first.
Of course.
Yeah, good. Okay. I was going to
And-
say,
and
women
then-
have to have
yeah.
standards.
And then she would replace it for X
Wow.
amount of dollars. So because the lycra that they design in the textiles, this is going.
Yeah. No.
But per square inch, when Ossos came up with the shorts, it was the most thread count per square inch than any other textile in the textile industry.
Wow.
And seriously, I had a pair of shorts from 1990 I wore all the way up until 2006, and they finally gave up the ghost. And I used them all the time. So.
And you always knew the ASOS riders when you heard a crash. No.
And then the angels
They
would
just-
descend
it's
and cry.
because
Yeah, it's
those
still how it
shorts
is.
back then were $200.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, and that's $600 now.
Yeah.
So it was an insane amount of price for a pair of shorts.
Anyway, I'll rapidly speed up here. And then 76, was Lycra, and then Castelli came in a year later. But here's the interesting thing. Castelli was the first one to come up with a synthetic chamois 1980. So think
God,
about
that's late.
from
That's late. Yeah.
1900s all the way, nothing has changed.
Yeah.
And then we have what we have now. And then there was this weird company from the ski industry called Descent.
Yeah.
Descent
the
came up
shit out of
with bib
Descent.
shorts because I had Victoria Gianni tights. You had
Okay.
to hold. They were wool, and you had to use suspenders to keep them up.
Everybody had the World Championship color suspenders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
They
wore
snap out of your
suspenders.
clip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they used to do it on their shorts because they were half shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Descent came up with the bib short. And
I was going to ask
Yes.
about bibs.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Thank
where they
God.
came around. And I'm thinking, like my wife, I was telling the story, and she's like, "That's what they did with pantyhose."
Pantyhose are now bibs?
No, pantyhose
Oh,
used to
no.
be with garters.
Jesus.
And then they finally tacked on,
Oh,
what
yeah,
the heck?
yeah.
You can come up here. I'm like, that happened like in the 40s. And they took the bike industry into
Yeah.
the 80s to figure,
Yeah.
hey, That's a good idea.
The girls,
Over the shoulders.
the girls figured it out.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So anyway, now we get to now the fit is unbelievable. I
Yeah.
mean, even
Oh,
we had
yeah.
good jerseys back. The team. I mean, the apparel that I wore. I mean, it was good quality stuff, but it wasn't fit like it is now.
No.
Now it's
And you're
really
seeing the predominant amount of road pros basically racing in skin suits now,
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
which I still body shame myself out of.
1980. That was you were talking about sublimation. 'Cause
Yeah.
we silk screen. So we would buy back as amateurs. You'd buy a jersey from a company.
Yeah.
We'll use Team Spokane.
Yeah.
Team Spokane bought from TJ's. Remember?
Yeah.
Was it JT's?
JT. Yeah.
And it was more of a BMX type and
Mountain bike. Yeah.
Mountain bike.
Kind of, yeah.
But they were excited. They reached out to me after Team Spokane.
it's a
folded.
good kit.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
They were hardy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we would get a blank jersey, and you would go to a silk screener, and they'd put this rubbery stuff over the top.
Not breathable.
Castelli was the one. Castelli was the one that created the whole sublimation.
Yeah.
They're the ones who invented it. So.
And now I have a sublimation
yeah, no
machine
one silk screens.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
And we're able to do that,
Yeah.
that stuff on our own.
So there you go. That's how things have changed.
I rode wool tights into the early 90s. Winter wool tights.
Yeah.
They were great for winter.
I had my Vittorio Gianni's for a long time, and then I had Pearly Zoomies, which was a Durawool from 1988. They finally gave up the ghost. My crotch was completely empty, but man, they were just perfect.
Why am I so cold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, moving on. Style points with Jackson. We just come off of kind of a style issue, but
I will say it's kind of crazy how that went because mine is in a very similar vein. So I have 4 questions. We don't have to take very long if we don't want to because I know of our time. But so I'm going to talk about cost of clothes, but before we even get to that, we're going to talk about. I'm going to ask 4 questions. Paul, what is your favorite brand of cycling apparel?
Ooh, boy.
Assos.
Assos. Pat, what is your favorite?
Holy crap, that's a hard one.
Right.
Because I did like the last Castelli kit we had. I do really like the Panache stuff we have now. I haven't ridden a whole lot. We had Pearl Izumi for a while, and I was not a fan of Pearl Izumi. No offense to them. I've never ridden Assos. Assos.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's a hard one for me.
Yeah, I had a tough time answering this too because I haven't really had that much experience with a lot of different brands. I have really liked the Panache stuff. I loved our Castelli stuff. It's kind of worn a little bit over the years.
Yeah.
I have a pair of Pearl Izumi bibs, and I really enjoy them. Honestly, I do. For the low price point, I'm a fan.
I am very particular about bib shorts and where the straps are.
Sure.
I have
Nipples?
I have sensitive nipples.
What I like about what Pearl Izumi did, these are the newest bib shorts I've ordered.
Riding
in
down
a
the
long
road,
time.
I could cut glass.
Yeah. But they are
Like eraser ends.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
but the bibs are like a raw edge almost,
No.
and it's very like second skin.
Oh, wow.
I really enjoy
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Favorite shoe company, Paul?
CD, but we had a chat.
Right.
I'm about ready because I didn't have a good experience on my last CDs, but
Yeah.
but Giro is probably where I'm going to go next because you liked it, and another friend of mine, Stu, that I went down last year to Palm Desert. He likes his too. So
There's so many of these little niche brands that are coming out that
For
I'm
sure.
really interested in, in finding things out about. But I was CD born and bred to die till the end for so many years. I mean, from the 80s, I rode CDs, road and mountain. And I bought some Giro lace-ups, and I really liked them. But I love the what's the the BOA devices. I think they're great, and I'm on Giant shoes right now, and they've been just awesome. But I don't know if I know any better anymore.
Yeah, I get
So
that.
it's hard. I need a good footbed, but after that,
Yeah. I've really enjoyed my Giros over the past years, especially going through the crash. They stuck through even something like that. So
beautiful shoe. too.
Yeah, and really lightweight. Breathable as hell. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that. So I'll stick with Giro. Favorite helmet company? I don't think anybody's going to be surprised. I'm going to answer with POC.
You're a puck guy.
Yeah. Paul?
Giro.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to be wishy-washy.
Yeah.
I was Giro since they started. I had the Lycra cover helmet, and I rode 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And then at one point in time, because I've become a sweater, and sweat drips down in my eyes, and so I tried out the POC when we got you one for Christmas, and I put it on my head and I went, holy shit, this is great. I loved my POC helmets, and up until right now I've ridden POC helmets, but I bought a Giro this year, so I'm anxious to try it.
Yeah.
So I'm neutral.
Nice. Okay. Glasses company. Paul, I know that you don't really wear glasses, so.
But I could answer this. In my early days, it was Rudy Project.
Yeah.
Right.
That was the original one, but
Yeah.
Outside of that, no.
And I was so happy of all the years of Gooder involvement. And I don't want to badmouth Gooder. What they do is unbelievable for the price point. Sometimes you do get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get the beefiness and the strength. And I have a pair of 100% that I haven't worn since Gooder became involved with the show for obvious reasons. And to put those back on your face, it feels solid. It feels stronger. I'm not worried when I wipe off the lenses with my hand in the rain.
Yeah.
So I love those. I haven't been on a pair of Rudy's or Oakley's for so long, but I don't know yet. I haven't found my new glasses now that we're without an eyewear sponsor.
Yeah, I know. I really enjoyed the 100% that I have. But I got a little bit anal. They're Peter Sagan like limited edition glasses.
Yeah.
So I after a while I was like, I kind
hang
of want
them
to
up.
protect these.
Yeah.
And which I do have them on a wall right now.
Yeah.
And so going with the Gooders, I really enjoyed them. They were, the price point was great. The people are cool. I like the whole ethos about it. So I was a fan of it. So those are my 4 questions. That's what I had for question wise, but I really want to talk about the current cost, like I said earlier, right?
Boy.
So we talked about price point of Gooder. You can't find that in a lot of other places. So I picked, there are 2 controls, we can say.
Okay.
The two things that we have that are going to stay the same are the Giro Imperial shoes and the Giro Aries spherical helmet. Mm-hmm. Oh, I have one more. Actually, no, that's it. So those are my 2. So we are going to start with high end. All right.
Okay.
I want to hit you in the face with what it feels like to really pay full price. So there is a brand. I'm sure we've all heard of it. MAP. MAAP.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a really popular clothing brand, especially for the aesthetics, but also for for I think the fit. It's kind of it's new. It just makes cycling feel a little bit more fashionable. I looked at the pricing, however, recently because I'm in the market for some training bibs. I love our team kit, but I want like some training kits. Yeah. I looked at MAP, and so for a jersey, there MAP LPW Pro Air jersey, cool design, but it's a 2.0, $235. That is more expensive.
Jersey?
Just a jersey. Yeah. That is more expensive than Rafa.
Yeah,
Rafa's a bargain.
I think that's even more than Assos.
It is.
Been around.
Yeah.
Take 5 of those jerseys.
I'd say 30. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. No, I'm saying take one.
Oh, yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah. MAP LPW Team Bib Evo, $375 for a pair of shorts, right? I mean, there's a lot of good technology in there.
And I know there are probably people who own that kit and are probably saying, dude, it is awesome.
100%.
It is so comfortable.
Yeah.
But I don't want to crash on that.
So here's the one that kind of kicks me in the face. MAP Division Mono Socks.
Oh, no.
$30. One pair of socks. This is one pair of socks.
Is it wool or anything?
Just a good old pair of socks.
We got to stop.
$30.
This is crazy.
Is it Arrow? Is it
just
anything?
A pair of socks?
Huh.
Yep. One. That's all you get.
It's made out of Remco Evenepoel's skin.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're super Arrow.
And I'm not bad mouthing.
That just sounds very Hannibal Lecter. But anyway.
I'm not bad mouthing MAP in any sort of the sense here. What they do is visually very captivating.
Yeah.
But oh my God. Giro Imperial shoes, I know the price because I own them. They are $425.
Yeah.
Wow, that's expensive, but for the technology, I think it's a contact point. It's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the most worth it to me. Giro Aero spherical or Aries spherical helmet is $300. I think that no matter what you spend,
is mine the Aries?
I don't think so.
It is.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have the same.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is worth it. to spend the money on a good helmet.
Yeah.
You only get one brain, spend it. Oakley Sutros, $183. I totaled
I
all
thought they were more than that. I would have said they were more than
Well,
that.
the Katos are pushing $3.
Really?
So those are the expensive ones. But the Sutros, $183. Good price point for a pair of glasses. You also only get one pair of eyes, you know?
Yep.
A total of $1,548. Boom!
For clothes. For
clothes.
Yeah.
One.
Yep.
Just one run.
Yeah.
Yeah. More expensive than the deal I got on my wheels, I will say.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Wow.
Mojo Cyclery. But here we are on the low-end price. Neo Pro, great brand, high quality.
They make. I have one of their jerseys. I bought it on a whim.
High quality cycling wear for a lower price point. Neo Pro Rebel jersey. These are all their newest things, by the way. $44.99.
Yep.
For a cycling jersey. I'm gonna buy my training kit from this place.
Yeah.
Neo Pro bibs, $59.99.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit more expensive, a little bit more technology in there. Neo Pro socks, $10.99.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you treat them right, you're gonna get the wear. You're gonna
Yeah.
use them right.
Yeah.
Tifosi is a brand that does high quality eyewear for a lower price point. Tifosi rails, $79.95. And then
That's great. Yeah.
I added in the helmet, the Giro Aries spherical helmet, and the Imperial shoes, $490. Well, this is probably going to be a little bit more because I forgot to add in the shoes, but for without the shoes, because you can 100% find
Yeah.
cheaper shoes, $495.92.
Yeah. That's
More than half.
Minus the shoes, which would add a good bit.
Yeah, push it.
There
It'd
is
be
one
about
thing.
$800, $900.
One lesson I learned from my dad is never skimp on footwear or eyewear, and in this case, in cycling, don't skimp on helmets.
I think that it's just crazy to see that probably you're not going to feel too much of a difference between these two brands, but we're looking at double, almost triple pricing on all of these things.
Now, if Matt wants to send us some kits so we can see what the difference like,
Please, for God's sake, do.
That would be an interesting blind experiment.
I would really love
that.
that.
And see what's going on.
Yeah.
Because when you're pulling on something with that price tag on it, it's like drinking expensive wine. You're going to go, this is so much nicer. It's like, dude, I poured Mad Dog 2020 into a bottle. Shut the fuck up. And because we play that what's the word? The fake pill effect,
the
placebo effect. And I think that can sometimes have an effect upon us. If we think we're riding something expensive, it feels better.
Yeah, and especially
I think you hit something on the head with the bike industry. I keep pushing Escape Collective quite a bit, but they have a series right now. They've gone 4 into it about the bike industry after COVID, how it went up, and now it's in a really world of hurt. But I think there is, I started thinking about the map stuff and who would wear that.
Yeah.
And there's people that are affluent enough that are willing to do that.
They have to put their Pinarello away in the rain and get to the office because they got a root canal.
To me, it's like I can't throw shade on that because if I owned a bike shop and I catered to them, it makes the whole thing around. Yeah. But the problem is when that becomes the focus, and you can't start into cycling for more than $3,000 for a road bike, for a brand new road bike. We've kind of, this is like the stock market is adjustment period. I think we need to I want the bike industry, I would like to see, I should say. I'm not demanding them. But anyway, just bring things back a little bit, because I've got a patch on my rear stay on my BMC. Love my BMC. But, I'm running these old wheels and stuff. And, of course, it's, some of the tongue-in-cheek is that I'm trying to hold back from going to disc brakes, but I don't have an option.
Yeah.
That's just the way it's going to be, and I accept that. But where do I?
You're
how do
talking
I make
$12
that equal?
grand
It
to
was
start,
to
get back.
Exactly, and to me, it's like when people are saying, "I bought my house in 1991 for $74,000."
Yeah,
I just sold it last year for $480. $80,000.
That's not inflation. That's lunacy.
But because of the market, there's everything, and I understand the economics of everything. But and I started calculating. I put probably through those 32 years about $200,000 worth of repairs and everything that you're doing on this house that people don't realize. So it's not really like, oh, that's sick. I mean, because you made,
Yeah.
but they try and sell you on this deal that, you know, you have equity in your home. If I bought another home, I had to step down to smaller square footage and everything. It was a step down. Yeah. And to be honest with you, downtown living is not the same neighborhood that I left.
Yeah,
for sure.
For the environment.
Your bike does not
But the bike is the same.
gain value. It's not an antique
In
car.
fact, it's a turd. You buy it, and it's like the worst thing. It's not an investment.
Yeah.
And this is where the industry is going. Is like now, disc brakes are getting to the point like changing them out, and brake rubber getting better.
Yeah.
You can start to see that improvement. SRAM is coming out with a new 12-speed, so you can't keep up with the Joneses, and that's the tiring part of cycling. It's like we have people that can afford all that, and that is what's driving.
Yeah.
No, we're missing us at the table. That we're the losers in this.
Well, and it makes you want to see more brands like a Gooder, like a Neo Pro, like a Pearl Izumi in a lot of cases is doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to push them into more of that center of the arena.
Sure.
But it's the Pinarellos, the Rafas, the Maps, the PNS. I don't know if you've ever seen that clothing brand, but that's even more expensive. But just like the ones that are really taking the forefront.
I almost pulled the trigger last night. I was online and I saw a Cervelo mountain bike, hardtail, Shimano XT build, $3,000.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? I looked at my wife and I said, look at this. She goes, do you have it? I'm like, no, I don't have it. She's like, that's too bad because it looks like they only have 4 left. I'm like, oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Threw my phone across the room. But, because you don't see deals like that very often anymore.
No, you don't.
So, yeah. So where are we headed? Where are we at?
Nobody has the answers.
Yeah. Shit. Thanks, Jackson. Yeah. Thanks for bumming things out.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll play the sad outro. That brings us to the end of another show. Be sure and subscribe to the show on our YouTube. And if you get a chance, pop us a review on iTunes. That would be super nice. It helps people. And I challenge our listeners out there. I don't know how I could reward you other than like sending stickers, but things like that. Spread the word. Help us out, spread the word, because I'm not gonna lie. I listened to a couple other shows. I listened to some on the way home today, and it pissed me off. Everything pisses me off.
I know,
but it pissed me off because I think we've been doing some cool shit for a long time, and I know you at home or wherever you're listening now are on board with us. Spread the word. I think we need to do that. So, and if your iTunes review rocks, I'll read it on the air and mention your non-bot made up name.
There we go.
Just keep the rubber side down. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here.
Thank you.
And there we go. Time for the au revoir. Almost there.
Au revoir.
There it is.
Au revoir.